Hello, YouTube community. It's Robert S., and welcome to my channel, Robscure Music, where I introduce you or reacquaint you with lesser-known albums and/or artists that are out there in the musical universe. So today I'd like to talk about a group called On a Sun. On a Sun is a band that was formed in Wisconsin by three brothers: John McWilliam, Thomas McWilliam, and Michael McWilliam. And John actually did most of the songwriting. He was their lead guitarist and lead vocalist. Tom played bass and also provided vocals, and Mike did the drumming for the band. And their sound is somewhat like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, a little Radiohead perhaps in the mix. And being brothers, they're very tight-knit. They play off each other very well, both in the studio and in live performances that they did back in the mid-2000s. And they've actually opened for bands like The Fray, I believe Soul Asylum, others of that sort. And they actually have, as far as I know, just one album, which is the debut album, Watershed. And this was released in 2005. The album was recorded at the Exchange and Sound Studios in Wisconsin. This is released on Big Night Records. And they had a number of other musicians who provided piano and backing vocals on this album. Let's see if I can show you the song listing there. And it was a fantastic debut album. And just want to quickly go through some of the songs on here. They've got the lead-off song on here is Forgive. And this is a song about some unspoken crime, I suppose. It really is a highlight on this album. And honestly, to me, it sounds a lot like Pearl Jam. Quite frankly, it sounds like something that could have come off of Pearl Jam's debut album, 10. It's that kind of sound, and it's that good. The next song is called Independence, and this has a more unique sound, more, I think, in line with their own sound. Starts out with some nice thumping drums, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, and then kicks into a fuzzy sort of wall of sound guitar. And it basically is a song about taking responsibility for your life and stop being the victim, essentially. Third song on here is You Did the Same. And this song is more acoustic than the first two are. You got some nice harmonies on here between the brothers, and there are musical pauses here, where the music just stops, and I think it's very effective. Next song, Vessel, that has a very distinct Soundgarden vibe to it. It almost sounds honestly like something that could have come off of Soundgarden's album, Louder Than Love. Next song is Unraveling, another fine song. This one is more along the lines of Nirvana in terms of the soft and then loud sections of the song. Those musical performances where Nirvana would start off sort of quiet and then all of a sudden get into the sort of louder, screaming, grungy sound. You hear that in the song Unraveling. Watershed, which is the title track, is another great performance. That song, I think the best way I could describe it is it sounds like a song we would have gotten if Chris Cornell was in Radiohead, if that makes any sense. And then the song Canyons. And Canyons is, a nice song. It actually introduces electric piano by an individual named Peter Buffett. Now, there is a Peter Buffett who is the son of Warren Buffett that is involved in the music industry. I don't think this is the same. Maybe if any of you know, you can let me know. I don't think it's the same person. I think it's just a coincidence that he's got the same name as Warren's son, Peter Buffett. And then we have a song called Searching. And Searching is definitely a more mellow sound. You almost expect something to happen, for them to kick into something louder, more grungy sound, harder rock and roll, somewhat along the lines of, let's say, Stairway to Heaven. But they actually stay in their lane in this one, and they stay in that sort of mellow groove. And then towards the end, they hit us with a little bit of a surprise in terms of in a nice sort of Indian-inspired droning vocal performance by Nikki Corvus, I believe her name is. And then after that, it kicks into Apologies and another fine performance. And then the last song on the album is called, or the last song listed on the album is called New World. And this is actually a song that the McWilliam brothers did not write. This song is actually a song by the artist Björk. Many of you may know Björk as the Icelandic musician who was in the Sugar Cubes initially before she went out on a solo career. And this song, New World, is a song that was included in the musical film called Dancer in the Dark. It was released around 2000, I want to say. And many years later, it was raised some controversy when Björk made claims of sexual harassment against, I don't remember if it was a producer or somebody involved with the film. But I digress. They cover the song, and it's less in the Björk style than it is in their own style, a somewhat more mainstream performance, if you will. I actually prefer their version of the song, and all in all, I think it's a fantastic song. And then we've got a hidden track, which is an untitled track, and it's a somewhat hypnotic, dreamlike sound. You think right away of sort of, the Radiohead type performance. And it eventually kicks into more harder rock grunge type sound that you've heard in the rest of this album before it finally ends at the roughly 9-minute mark. So all in all, fantastic debut album. It may, like I said, be their only album that they did. Um, I tried to see if they had a website. Onasun.com says it's under construction. It did say coming soon, so one can only hope. I hope that their next album is coming soon. And yes, I know this was released 17 years ago, but hey, ABBA gave us new music after 40 years, so fingers crossed we can get some new music from Onasun. So if you want to take a listen to hear what they sound like, I will include a link in the description below. You can check that out. I think copies of this are easily attainable on eBay, under $10. Well worth the money, in my opinion. And, take a listen. So that's it for today. Stay well, and remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.